Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Good morning, Curt and Jen in the morning podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome.
Yes.
hmm
Curt, can we talk about why we are remote?
Yeah, my
This is
neighbor
the
popped by
thing.
yesterday and said, "Oh, by the way, remember how we were talking Saturday or Friday? Anyway, yeah. Well, since we just tested COVID, tested positive for COVID. So, what they keep saying, they used to say, out of a abundance of caution, we're doing this in separate locations. So
Well,
I don't want to give you COVID. I didn't test positive. I didn't test negative either. I didn't test at all. I'll do that today. How's that sound?
here's the thing about it is that once Kurt told me that and I was like, okay, well, we should probably stay separate for today and see if you have
hmm
any symptoms. And I'm like, wait a second. We were together on Saturday, but we were on a boat in open air.
That's true. There's a lot of opportunities to not get COVID. Is that how we put it? I don't even know.
I started reading an article and I didn't read the whole thing because I was like, I don't want to know about this, but maybe I'll go back and read it about what we need to know about summer COVID.
What do
Is
we need to know?
I don't know. Just said I stopped. Really, here's where I stopped. The headline.
Well, obviously it's still a serious thing, and people should do what they feel is right. But as you mentioned, Jen, I don't know what the you said. I don't know what the rules are with COVID anymore because yeah, it used to be as soon as you did a little cough or something or a sneeze, like oh, I gotta go get tested. And if somebody you were yeah, when we were actually still working in the corporate world, um, they had an extensive, well, okay, if you don't show any symptoms for X amount of time, then so anyway, I don't know what it is anymore, but it's still something to be aware of. Yeah.
And we need to, yeah, I need to read up on it and be more aware because that's the responsible thing to do. Hey, just a reminder, if you like what you hear, please share us with your friends, families, coworkers, neighbors, whoever, and like us, follow us, subscribe on whatever platform that you're consuming us on. We just want to
All
be
of the
part of your daily
above.
routine.
Yeah. Happy to be part of your day. Want to be part of your daily routine, whether it's remotely or in the same room. So,
Okay. All
which
right.
hopefully we'll be back in person tomorrow. I will go get tested and blah, 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 blah.
All right,
Everything will be
weekend,
good.
a little weekend recap for me. I did a little boat cleaning with Kurt Cruise on Friday
Yes. Fine job of boat cleaning, by the way.
to get rid of the spider poop on the boat so that when
That's
we
not
go
true.
out, that was my payment.
That was not true. You did not touch the spiders. As soon as you saw one, you said eek and ran away.
That's true. Thank you for
That
getting the spiders.
that is we have to be transparent here, even about you being scared of spiders.
But we did
So
some boat cleaning on Friday, followed by a
mhm,
boat ride on Saturday on Lake Washington, which was lovely. It was not
that
as
was
sunny as we had
fantastic.
hoped, but it was so fun.
Yeah. And
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
oh,
You
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say I went up to Cedro on Saturday night after the boat ride, Cedro Woolley, which is where
hmm
hot firefighter Pat lives. And then we did a big barbecue at his property, along with some wood chopping for happy hour bonfires.
It looks like you have to. You're always being put to work before you can do something fun. Not that there's anything wrong with
Oh,
that, but
let this be known, I did not chop wood. What I did was I made cupcakes for and all of the other things while Pat smoked meat.
there you go.
And he smoked meat and chopped wood. Arr, arr, arr. And then I
R
made
R R.
cupcakes and all the other accoutrements for.
Well, appreciate you doing the boat cleaning. This is the first boat cleaning of the year. So this is a big one. Anybody who owns a boat that we keep it in the water year round. So, yeah, all kinds of things. And we mentioned that we had the otters got on the boat, and well, we didn't talk about that, did we?
Here's the thing. When we got to the boat, when we got to Kurt's boat at the marina,
It was
there's this
Friday afternoon.
big, huge pile of brown stuff. And I'm like, what's that? And Kurt's like, I don't know,
Uh,
probably goose poop. I'm like, that is not goose poop. That is too big to be goose poop. And then your
and our
neighbor
boat
said,
neighbor. Yeah. Hey, you had some otters on your boat, man.
you had otters on your boat deciding to have a party and then just take a big fat crap.
And do they help chip in for gas? No. Do they like leave a little, here's a little extra money for the
No,
effort?
here's
No.
a little extra poop.
Yes, that's what they left us. Enjoy. So,
Big fat poopsicle
but now the boat looks fantastic. It looks almost good as new. So we
and
had a
nice
great time out
hair.
in the water. Um,
Nice hair,
huh?
Kurt. Your hair?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Do you remember I was supposed to get my hair cut?
Yeah, because you do
And
that on Sunday.
nope.
You didn't?
So I have to wait till next Sunday. My hairstylist only works one day a week. And so yesterday we got caught up in other things. Yesterday we went to the dump,
Kurt
which is,
Bruce, you even talked about this.
Mhm. I mean, I didn't make any promises. I'm just gonna have Dana cut it. How's that? You suggested that.
That's fine. Do you save some money? You need to save some
We
US dollars during this
right.
time of transition for ourselves.
Well, I did save some US dollars yesterday because the big event of the day was we put together the Weber grill that I got, which has just been in a box, and so that was I was told, oh yeah, it should only take a half hour, 45 minutes to put together.
Right.
Yeah. So that was longer than that. So the dump run and putting together the grill, and then all of a sudden, no, it's too late to go get the haircut.
Oh
So I'm
my
sorry to disappoint everybody in the world, evidently, Jen.
God. I just after you talked about it, how you have to make a conscious effort to make sure you go on Sunday. You're
Right.
funny.
That effort was not made.
You're funny. Um, with this time of the year come vacations and road trips,
True.
and we thought it would be fun to talk about rules of the road when you're on a road trip.
Right. Everybody, well, I think everybody kind of has their own, maybe their unwritten rules too, and that could be a problem. I suppose etiquette when you're traveling, maybe that's
Yeah,
a way to put it.
like for the shotgun,
Hmm.
the front passenger seat reserved for the second in charge, if you will, the person helping with navigation.
Okay. And how about we go over just a few of the more, well, the smaller one. The first one that popped up to me was the one that was for an RV only, and it was only number one in the RV bathroom in the
Please,
head, just
please.
number one. If it's a number two, I guess what do? You stop at a fast food restaurant.
I don't know how that works. I'm gonna have to ask Pat. He's a RV master. I feel like
Okay.
he would know
Uh,
that.
I
Um,
guess the big question is for you, who controls the music?
well,
Driver or passenger or
uh,
shotgunner?
so Brad wrote into us and said something about that. He said that his rule is that DJ duties get split evenly between the people. So if there's 4 people in the car and it's a 4-hour road trip, each person gets to DJ for an hour. I think that's a
That's
good one.
cute. Oh man, Brad. No, you're so wrong.
What's
I
your
never heard that
rule?
before. You know what? It's nice that he included the passengers in the back because usually it's just between, the navigator, if you will, and the driver as to who gets to control the music. And I usually just relinquish it. Well, I shouldn't say that. If I just pop something in, and you know what? If it's already synced with my phone, then I guess we play my music. And if Dana gets in first and it syncs to her phone, then we play her music.
Okay.
I
All
know
right.
it's just as easy as that.
Who gets
But
to control
she's
the
going to get
heat?
her way.
Who
What's
gets to
that?
control the heat? If you don't have the fancy car that has, every section of the car gets to control their own heat,
Right.
do you have a rule about who gets to control the heat?
We don't have the every section of the car has its own heat, so that's not an issue with us. But I think it's usually just like a verbal agreement. I'm kind of cold. Okay. Although yesterday it almost did start an argument because we were driving home from the dump and it was getting kind of warm because it was the afternoon, right? And so the air conditioning was on at just say level 8. I don't know what it was. And so we're driving along and she just reaches over and she turns it down to 0. And I was like, "Well, don't do that. You can't do that. There has to be discussion."
Here's one that I really like that Tina sent us.
What's that?
BYOPC,
Bring your own.
phone charger,
Oh yeah.
right? Because my girls will not bring theirs and then they steal mine and then they disappear forever.
That's the thing. It's like the rule is okay, we've got an extra charger in the glove box. Go ahead and use that, but then put it back when we get where we're going or when we get home. And that's where the problem is. Because the next time, guess what's not in the glove box? Jen's charger.
I'm going to give you one more idea because like you said, everybody has their own road trip rules.
Hmm.
Well, first of all, no littering. Take care of your litter, right? If you're unwrapping stuff, be sure you
Right.
throw it away. Don't just leave it in the car because Kids are
Real good.
famous for that. But playing Snack Master, so what you do is you have this like buffet of snacks. Everyone brings their own like potluck of snacks, right? They bring enough to share with everyone, and then the car votes at the end of the when you get to your destination, and you get named Snack Master if you brought the best tasting snack.
Great. Okay. So it turns into a game and everybody gets well fed with junk food.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't have to be junk food. I know snacks can be fruit or whatever, but that's
I do like playing games. Speaking of games in the car, I mean, you already know I talked about this,
the license plate
the
deal.
license plate game. And I have to say that Pat is at 20 license plates. So it's a license plate game where you claim the different states. And Pat, my boyfriend, and I are playing a game against each other
It's
between,
PL as it's plate spot is the game, right?
yeah, it's an app that you can get on your phone. So
Plate
between
spot.
Memorial Day and Labor Day, we try to find as many as we can. I'm going to do a quick little check because I believe 27 plates seen.
Mm-hmm.
Pat's at 20, I think. So I'm winning.
I mean, I get credit for one of those. Remember, was it
Yes.
Indiana or Utah or something that we
Oh
saw on
my gosh, that
Saturday?
reminds me. I forgot. I forgot to mark one because when you're driving, you can't do it. So you have to try to remember, which I'm like, I thought for sure I saw that plate, but I probably forgot to claim it, but I can't if I wasn't sure. But I did see New York, and I'm gonna claim that one right now. Okay,
Okay.
carry on.
This is something that I was surprised to hear. Ed Sheeran, as we switch gears from
Oh
license plates to Ed
yeah.
Sheeran, he was on a podcast recently, not ours, unfortunately, but he was on a podcast recently and he said he got rid of his mobile device almost a decade ago. He said, I have not had a phone since 2015.
I
Yeah.
love this so much. I read this story too, Curt. I'm like, you can't help but not read the story, right? If the headline says that this major music celebrity hasn't had a cell phone in almost 10 years, like
Right.
why and how, right?
Right. I think it's, I mean, we all say, oh, that sounds great if I didn't have to have a phone, but he actually managed to pull it off. He says that now, just recently, his team O people, they got him a phone to use where it's necessary, like for social media. So his social media team's like, Ed, you got to have something to catch some pictures or whatever. But as far as having a functioning phone, the deal was, and I guess this makes sense, about 2015, he said, after realizing how many contacts he still had saved from before he got famous. This is what he said. I had the same number from like age 15, and then I got famous and I had 10,000 contacts suddenly on my phone, and people would just text to me the whole time. And that, shoot, I don't have 10,000 contacts in my phone. And I still think I get texted too much, you
Well,
know?
and the thing he was worried about is that he was like, I'm getting these texts and they're not responding. So now all these people think I'm super rude for not responding. And then he's
Hmm.
like, then I would take a day and try to respond to people, but then that would spark even more conversation and more text. And so he's like,
Right,
I'm done. I'm switching everything to email. I'm getting all
right.
my messages on email, and I'm only checking email once a week. I think that's pretty brilliant because he said that he was just missing out on life, like he wasn't being present. And gosh
Right. Real
darn
life
it.
interaction with real life humans face to face and stuff like that. So wouldn't it be nice to be able to do that? I don't feel that I could, but I'm not also like fielding 10,000 texts a day. So,
You totally could. I mean, there's something to be said about putting down your phone. My
mhm.
daughter, Macy, has her phone. Pat and I talked about this just on the way home yesterday. Like, she has it all the time. And I need to teach her as her mom, like, we need to get the phone down, right?
Right.
You don't need it in your hand or in your ear all the time.
And the thing is, I mean, I think with myself included, that involves physically leaving it someplace else. Because if you're like, okay, we're going to have dinner and we're not going to be on our phones at all. We're going to have a nice dinner and whatnot. If it's there and then all of a sudden, beep, something goes off, you're on your phone. So yeah, I think that there's a conscious effort to like leave it behind when you go somewhere. And I wonder if there's not some sort of medical malady now that people get so stressed if they don't actually physically have their phone nearby that it messes with their head. I wonder if that's a
No, I
thing.
mean, I freak out. If I leave my phone at home, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my phone. I got to go back and get it. Like, I'm like
Okay.
that. But I've also turned off my notifications because if it beeped all the time, I'd be wanting to check it. So, like, I don't have any notifications. My phone, if it rings, will start to vibrate, but it will not ring. And then if I'm with someone, unless it's my girls, I
Right.
just ignore it. I'll just send it to voicemail and I'll get it later.
But you still
Although,
have to look at it to see who it's from.
yeah, there is
Yeah.
that.
That's the thing. I mean, being without your phone, truly without your phone, I think is would be a lot of effort for a lot of us because just what we just talked about. So good for Ed
Okay.
Sheeran.
Yeah, for sure good for Ed Sheeran. And I love him. He's such a nice guy.
He's a good dude.
All right. I couldn't even believe this was a thing, which is why I said it to you, and you're like, what?
We need to talk about this.
You
First
should,
of all, as usual, the headline catches you, right?
yeah, you should absolutely not tweeze or wax your nose hairs.
And we
What?
went, wax?
So there was this ENT doctor, ears, nose, and throat doctor and dermatologist that came together and put this article together and just said, you know what, don't
Right.
wax your nose hairs. I'm thinking, I didn't even know waxing your nose hairs was a thing. And
Well,
it
I'm just
is.
going to read from some of this that while nose hair waxing provides longer lasting results, it just sounds super painful. Let me just say, while nose hair waxing provides longer lasting results compared to alternative methods like trimming, completely removing your nose hair means removing the filtration system that's essential to keeping you healthy and warding off infections. That's what the little hairs inside your nose do. They help with that.
And they help moisturize your nose so that it's not dried up all the time. So when you get rid of every nose hair, which just plucking a nose hair, I've done that before. Have you? I know you have, Curt.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, what's that supposed to mean? And secondly, yeah, it's painful. I mean, it's you got the little. Don't you have a hair cutting kit for your kids? And can't you put an adapter on the end that's just right for doing that
So
nose
that's
hair
what
stuff?
they say. They say, do not wax your nose. Don't do it. You got to leave those hairs in there. You
At least
shouldn't
a little
even
bit.
pluck.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even pluck because they're like the doctor said that the dermatologist doctor as part of this article said that they've had to treat like abscesses in the nose and
Oh,
lacerate them and drain them from the nose plucking. So don't
okay.
pluck, don't wax. If you got anything coming out of your nose like hair wise, trim it. That's what
Okay.
you're supposed to do. You can trim it. Trim,
Good to know. It actually is good to know, but that's yeah, usually something people don't talk about, I guess, right?
but we talk about anything.
Exactly. We
We
have
want you,
to.
we want you to know that you should not wax your
Mhm.
nose hairs out your mama. And the other thing is if you're gonna trim them, make sure that the scissors, I want to pass this along since we are talking about this, are sterilized,
Hmm.
or you can use a nose hair trimmer if you got to get up there a little more.
Yeah. Okay. I
There
mean,
you
see, at
go.
least you didn't say at the end you can get one from Costco for so they know it's not a commercial now, right? Or an ad.
You're
We don't have any
welcome.
ads.
You're welcome. When I was
Um,
reading it, my friend, I just have to say this. My friend was telling me there's this book called Breathe that she has all of her clients read. Like it's the first thing she has them do because breathing helps solve a lot of things. And she said when you're sleeping, you should absolutely breathe with your nose, not your mouth. And she says you could put a piece of tape on your nose. She says it sounds barbaric, but you can put a piece of tape on your mouth to make sure you're breathing through your nose. And it's because all the things they said in this article, like it naturally filtrates the air to make it good for your lungs.
but if you like me, if you have allergies and stuff and your nose gets clogged up, are you going to suffocate with the tape on your mouth?
There's yeah, and I there is a or there's a product out that's called Nose Gym. I think it's Nose Gym, JYM or GYM that specifically or not nose mouth gym or something like that. I don't know, but you can buy it in a special tape for your mouth for when you sleep. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
enough. Sorry.
We'll get some comments on that too. I'm looking forward to seeing you know what you need.
You know what you need? I wish I remember the name of
Excuse
that
me.
product. Anyway, okay.
You know what? I just coughed, and going back to the beginning of the show, no COVID. I will test later just to make sure, but that's why we're doing this remotely, just out of the abundance of caution. Because yeah, but so far no symptoms. Just my neighbors like you might want to watch out because Rita's tested positive. Sorry about that imitation, Sue. That was Sue right there, just tested positive. Starting next summer, this is local stuff. Fireworks sales will be prohibited in unincorporated Southwest Snohomish County.
Wait a second. That's us.
That is
That's
us.
us.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't it?
It,
Yeah.
I see. Here's the weird thing about as long as I've lived in the Pacific Northwest, like when I moved here, asking around, it's like, well, you can buy fireworks, you just can't shoot them off in Snohomish County or whatever. And then in some other counties like, well, you can actually shoot off fireworks, but you're not allowed to legally buy them. So they were making it, I mean, they're trying to make it difficult. You couldn't purchase them, but you can fire them off. You couldn't fire them off, but you can purchase them. It just seems silly. But now, um, although fireworks use is already banned in many areas of Snohomish County, this new rule is going to prohibit the sales as well, not just the use of fireworks, but also the sales, I'm going to get in a little soapbox here. I think that's awesome because I mean, I know that fireworks are fun and for the kids and stuff like that, but it's to the point, at least up near where I live, and I think you as well, Jen, where 4th of July, it's really, I mean, it is like out of control. It is, I mean, because you used to not be able to get those big, especially like the mortars and stuff like that.
Yeah, you go to Boom City and get them. See, I'm in
Mhm,
the opposite campus you. I love
mhm,
them. I think they're fun if you're careful and have all the right, you're taking the right precautions. But I would tell you that hot firefighter boyfriend Pat would say
mm-mm.
he
It's
intentionally doesn't work on the 4th of July because he's like, there are so many calls and you see all the same injuries and it's stupidity.
And you know what? If you want to blow off your finger, you can do it for free. Just go get a knife or something, save you a lot of money. You don't have to use any fireworks. You just put your hand down and a chopper, and there you go.
I mean, you're literally blowing up your money when you buy fireworks, but it is fun for many
Don't
people.
chop off your finger. But
Including me.
but the big thing is it messes with the animals so much. Not just, of course, it scares the dogs. We all heard that from the dog rescue places that they get so many animals after 4th of July because they just, they hear one of boom and then they
It's the
just
high.
scatter.
It's the high. We were just talking about this, right? It was the highest day of
Mm-hmm. Oh, a
dogs
lot.
going missing or running
Right.
away.
Right.
And you said
So
because of fireworks
and I'm all for having a good time, and obviously, but I think it's just, I mean, I don't know how it is in other states, but when I came here, and this is 20 years ago, it's like these are like the fireworks you get in a professional fireworks show.
Yeah.
These should not be in the hands of amateurs like me.
I wonder
So I
how
wouldn't
much
do
money
that.
is spent. I wonder how
But
much money is spent on the 4th of July on fireworks. It's a lot.
in areas in Snohomish County where sales will be banned, and I already think that firework uses are banned in these cities: Linwood, Everett, Mill Creek, Mukilteo, Shoreline, Lake Forest Park, and Edmonds.
The unincorporated ones aren't though. Like, yeah, there's there's
But I don't
there's
know why they put this. I don't know why they put this on here because those aren't unincorporated areas. Those are
yeah,
incorporated.
that's weird.
But anyway,
Tell me
if
about
you're,
Dick Van Dyke. You told me, do you want me to tell you or do you want to wait till the podcast? I'm like, I'll wait till the podcast. Tell me.
yeah, I said there's something here about Dick Van Dyke. They had the Daytime Emmy Awards. This is not the, I guess you know what? I forgot that there was a separate award show for daytime Emmys.
Versus nighttime. Okay.
Right, which is the big one. Well, the Emmys is the primetime Emmys. But Dick Van Dyke made daytime Emmys history, becoming the oldest person to ever win a daytime Emmy award. He's 98.
What? Okay, but what was he in?
He won the Emmy for Best Guest Performer in a daytime drama series. He was on Days of Our Lives as Amnesiac. Funny, a soap opera has an amnesiac. He played amnesiac Timothy Robichaux on Days of Our Lives. And he says, Dick Van Dyke received a standing ovation as he made his way to the stage, accompanied by his wife, Arlene. He said, I don't believe this. I feel like a spy from nighttime TV in the daytime. I'm 98 years old. Can you believe it? Wow.
I love that.
He
That's
already has 4 primetime Emmys. He's won those, 3 in the 1960s for the Dick Van Dyke Show. Classic,
I was
obviously.
just gonna ask if this was his first one. Okay.
Right. And he also had a quote in here: if I'd known I would have lived this long, I would have taken better care of myself. But he still looks, I mean, I know he's walking with a cane these days sometimes, but for 98, he still seems like he's sharp and up and around and whatnot.
I would have taken better care of myself, and yet he's 98. I wonder
Yeah.
what he meant by that. I would want to dig into that.
It may be the same joke that we all make about things. I'm in terrible shape. It's like, he looks like he's doing fine. So
All right.
congratulations. Oldest ever daytime Emmy winner, 98 years. What says 98 years young? I should have read it that way, I guess,
Yay,
right?
Dick Van Dyke. I love that.
98 years young for Dick Van Dyke.
All right. Tomorrow, if
Mm-hmm.
you tend to be a messy person, we will give you legit reasons, or you can use this as an excuse, why you might be. And it's not because you're lazy. Not because
Well, it
you're
might be
lazy.
because you're lazy, but there are reasons that you could be. Is it, you've read the story. I've not read this yet. Is it messy or disorganized or both?
A little, I would say it has to do with a little bit of both.
Okay.
Like if you, yeah. And it's
Because I
not,
don't think that, well, you've been to my house. I don't think the house is messy, but it is probably disorganized.
Yeah, it's like I think it's more about like if there's cluttered, like a lot of cluttered areas that
Okay, that's
seems
me.
like other people would call it messy. There's some areas in my house that's messy, and I'm like, I don't know. I enjoyed reading the article, and I'm like, oh, that's
We
why.
should share
Okay.
this. The areas in the house where I'll get to that tomorrow. I'll get to that
Yeah.
next weekend, and then next week, I've got plenty of those as well. So tomorrow, if you tend to be a messy person, Jen has legitimate reasons or excuses why you might be, and it's not necessarily that you're lazy. There you go.
Yes. We hope you have a great start to your week. Again, happy
Yeah.
Monday. Make it a great day. And also make good choices, find joy, and spread kindness. And thank you for listening.